I have to hit got it?
I'm not sure. I never had anybody on the receiving end.
I got it.
All right. Hello. I look so dazed and confused at the beginning of this video. Welcome everyone to the after party of Cell Bowl 2021. Right now, I am joined with the winners of the event and their professor, Sherry Darty. So does anybody want to introduce themselves? We do have an MVP here. I know there's a lag, so don't pay attention to that.
Well, we're not noticing the lag, I don't think, on this end. So
My side profile I just went off.
We have a mixture here today of the first year students and the second year students. So we do have the MVP present. I'm Shirley Darty, the coordinator for the MLT program, and our program does consist of two groups, a first year and a second year groups. And we start a new group each year. But would anybody like to introduce themselves? I would. Some of the folks we see on camera are, we got Rebecca, Caitlin, Summer, Aaron, Kelsey, and we have a room full of other people that aren't showing their faces right now, but I can remedy that. I can switch camera to student view and we can see everyone. Let's do that for just a second so that we can see who all's present here. Look at this group.
Look at those lovely celebrities. Woo!
There we go.
Oh, there's more.
Yeah, this is a huge room. We call this our Zoom room.
Oh, very nice.
For lack of a better description, but everybody wave.
Big wave. Do it like you're at the NFL.
Yeah, let's start a wave over here. Come on, girls. Yeah, come on.
All right, there you go.
Start it on your side back. Let's go.
Woo! All right.
We are the champions. We gotta live this up. All right, I'll go back to my view now.
All right.
So this is the room we were in most of the time when we competed. This is the room we were in when we found out we were the winners. So lots gone on in this Zoom room.
I remember that video. That was so neat. I was waiting for somebody to jump out of their chair. Nobody did. But you all did an amazing job. We were so proud of you and so thankful that you were able to participate and had a good time, hopefully. So Professor Darty, if you could take a minute just to tell us a little bit about your MLT program, such as the location, whether your NACL is accredited, and the type of modality that you use for class. We'll start with that.
Okay, our program is a 2-year associate in applied science, and it is an MLT program. And we are located on the Logan campus of Southern West Virginia Community and Technical College. We have a campus in Williamson, a campus in Boone County, a campus in Wyoming County in West Virginia. We have a center in Lincoln County. So we're spread out all over the area, but this program is housed here on this Logan campus. And it's been a face-to-face class, a face-to-face program throughout its existence, but the pandemic forced us to change a little bit. So we have become not online at all, but we still have the capability to learn from home. We had snow all last week, and every day, I think every day of our classes every day was snow day last week. So we Zoomed from home, and I don't know. I don't think the students liked it, honestly. I think they'd rather be here. You all agree with that? Yeah. Yes. Everybody would rather be here on campus. But we do know now that we have that capability. So we don't have to cancel completely. We can still go on with our education, even though we can't be together for weather reasons or COVID reasons or whatever. But this program is housed here on the Logan campus of Southern West Virginia Community and Technical College. We're in a brand new building. It's not so much brand new now. I think it's probably about 4 or 5 years old, but we were over in the main building, and that this new building that we're in is called the Allied Health and Technology Building. And we have a brand new lab. You guys don't know that because you've only seen it here on this campus, I would or this building. But yeah, the lab downstairs, we used to be over in the old building, and we had a smaller, cramped up lab. Our lab now is nicer. I know you mentioned maybe touring the lab, but we could potentially do that, but we're not in the lab right now. We're in the Zoom room.
Very cool. That'll work. We don't need to. I was just making sure that you got everything highlighted that you wanted to, because this is y'all's time to shine. So yay.
And we take 20 new students every year.
Wow,
we try to
that's
take
great.
20. Yeah, we don't always meet the quota. There's not always 20 qualified, interested people in MLT. You know, as you know, we are the hidden profession, and a lot of people don't know what we do or that we even exist. So
very true.
We compete with all the other programs here. Southern has a wide list of allied health and nursing programs that we compete for students with those programs. But we try to take 20 a year, and we typically graduate about 10, 9 to 10, 11, somewhere in that range. So not everyone that enters the program successfully graduates, but that's something that we're working toward, building those numbers. And maybe some of the new technology and things that we're doing will help with that. We record lectures now. Every lecture, even if we're all face-to-face, we still record it, and I post it to our Brightspace platform so that if anyone wants to go back and listen again, they can. They can hear me a second time, go over that same material that you heard the first time.
Do you all listen to it when you come in while you're driving in? Do you listen to her speaking?
Anybody?
Oh, because we do the same thing. We record everything. That was a big blessing of COVID, because I had not really done that too much. And then it brings up a lot of flexibility, but a lot of ability for the students to review later also. And they've been enjoying that fact, because, you know, it's not enough to go one pass through. You know, I missed something. Why did I write this down on my paper? This doesn't make any sense to me. What did we say? You know, so it's always great to go back and listen. So that's wonderful. I'm so glad that you do that.
I know some use it, because I've had people come and say, "Oh, did you not post the recording today?" Or there's an error in the recording, or, you know, so I know students are taking advantage of it at some point. So.
Well, I look forward to hopefully seeing you all when you graduate. That's really, really exciting.
And we are NACLS accredited. I forgot to mention that. I did the first virtual site visit here at the college. My program did the first virtual site visit last October.
Thank you.
Last October.
That's really great.
It's been actually a year ago from this. Time has like been at a standstill through this pandemic, but it was October of 2020. Yeah, we did the virtual site visit, and we got 10 years of accreditation. And I thought, oh, my life's getting easy, smooth sailing. And then guess what happened? Pandemic.
Well, just for any of our viewers who don't know, 10-year accreditation award is the highest that you can get. So they got the maximum accreditation award. So congratulations to you. That means that you go to a quality and very well preparatory program where you can sit for the ACP exam and you will be absolutely prepared. So make sure, do not burn your notes. Don't burn your books. Don't sell them back. Make sure you use them, because you'll have to go back and look at them to prepare for the BOC. So we would love for you to be wonderful certified MLTs as soon as you get out. The best thing to do is to take the exam as soon as you get out. I did mine 10 days after I graduated.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah, it was very incredibly scary.
Yeah.
But exciting at the same time. And when you do it, you'll see in the middle of the screen in tiny, tiny letters, you passed or you didn't. I don't know what it looks like if you don't, because I passed. So, but it says you passed, and I'm like looking and I'm staring stunned. And then I got really excited and I jumped up out of my chair and started dancing. And the lady, they watch you, by the way. You're not allowed to talk. You're not allowed to do anything. And the lady from behind me that had been watching me the whole time, she was like, "Did you pass?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she came in and she hugged me. It was great. We didn't even know each other. It was so exciting. But it's like the most secure thing you'll ever do. You get, you have to, tell your firstborn child, give him up there, sign your life away. Like, yes, I will do everything. And yes, I'm professional. And here's my fingerprint and let me in. So
Tiffany, my first exam was it was in the 70s, 1978.
On paper.
And yeah, we did paper and pencil. So I had to wait for the post office to send me notification if I passed or failed. So every morning on my way to work, I'd stop at the post office. So the lady there got to know me. So one day it came in and she called me at work. I think I left my phone number. I said, if you see it, just let me know. So she called me and I gave her permission. She opened that envelope in the post office and told me if I passed or not. Now, if you did that today, you'd probably be in federal prison.
Yeah.
And I gave her permission and she opened my mail and told me that I passed. So that was my first time with my MLT certification. Then I went back and I had to do it again with the MLS. And it was, it was like, like what your guys are doing now, the computer adapted test with, on the screen, you passed or you failed. But yeah, I don't know which was worse, clicking that button or getting that phone call. I don't know.
It's nothing like what you expect. I realized that it wasn't anything like the program test that I had when I did mine. And so be prepared to have questions where it's more case-based, where it's not, what is this? It's more of, how would you respond if this happened? What would you do if you're this patient, age, whatever, you see these results? What are the next steps? Because the whole idea is we're not giving you a practical in order for you to pass the practical. In order to do it, we have to figure out ways to ask you questions in order to make sure that you would know what to do and do the right thing in those situations. So be prepared. It's not straightforward, and you're going to find that you get all these different questions. They're all different categories. It's not going to be only blood bank here, only hematology here. It continues to change up. And so it's steadily making sure that it's finding where you land, even though they're not next to each other in succession. So,
how do you think it's changed in the last few years? I feel it's changed quite a bit with becoming more case study, technical type questions.
Yeah, I would just say that the more that you are able to move forward with thinking about, as if I was doing this on the bench, what would I do in this situation? What do these results mean? Before you look at the options, just think about, what comes to mind first, and what would I do next? And then take a look at what the responses are and choose from there, because they're all multiple choice. But it is very case based, as you were saying. So, just don't think it's going to be straightforward. And sometimes if you have to really convince yourself of an answer, it's not that answer. Just to put that out there. It's not that answer.
That's great advice, because we just talked about that today. We met with our seminar class for a little while, and we were talking about strategies and ways to study and getting past just knowing the basics, So that's a very timely comment you made. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Well, I'm really excited for you all to get to that point. It's probably the biggest test you'll ever take in your life, at least at that point, unless you choose to go on. But man, it can be really, really exciting. So have your support system at home. Make sure that you get really good sleep, have really good nutrition in the morning and before you go to sleep. And just make sure that you're walking in with at least a little bit of calmness, where you make sure to just breathe and relax. You get 2.5 hours. Yeah. So 2.5 hours for 100 questions. And, you can make it as relaxed as you want it to be, but the more relaxed you'll be, the better off you'll do. Don't be so relaxed you're falling asleep, but, be prepared to just, focus and have some really good educated guesses if it comes down to that. You're not expected to know everything. It's just trying to figure out, what do you know? And as I tell everyone that I ever talk to, there's two different kinds of information. It's what you know already, and then how to find what you don't know, the answer to what you don't know. So in this profession, you are not expected to be all wise and all knowing. You can't be. But to know how to use your resources, including each other. It's not just textbooks and the web, right? So, hey, you have more experience than I do. Can you come take a look at this? I'm thinking this. What about you? What do you think? Whenever we had any interpretation, like visual interpretation tests, even though, we all knew what it was, we'd go around and make sure that everybody came up with the same interpretation, just to make sure, because some people can be colorblind and maybe not notice the nuances in those differences in shades. All right. So
Can I ask you a question?
yes.
What kind of advice would you give to these students as far as studying? How would you suggest to prepare? Because they hear what I think. I'd like to hear what another coordinator offers to her students as far as how do you study and how do you prepare?
For the BOC or regular exams?
The BOC.
The BOC. Well, that is a good question. So my program, we have the daily class objectives, and I put them into a document that we go through each week. And it's got graphics and everything to help you learn. And they have to fill it out together as a group in order to progress well. I mean, they don't have to fill it out. It's not graded, but it's basically a study guide. Everything on there is going to be something you're going to be asked either by my exam or a future, BOC exam. And I've been told quite frequently that my exams are almost identical to the BOC. It's not because I made the BOC. It's just because that's the kind of questions I ask. So my advice is all the notes that you have, you're using for your exams during whatever courses you're taking. But basically, if you have a way, whether they are the Polanski review cards, or you go through and review the objectives that you covered in different class periods, if you can't seem to answer or describe more information about what you see in those graphics, or even what you see in your chapter graphics, then you need to go back and take a look. We do have the outline that is available on the ASCP website to tell you what is going to be described or used in every category, but it's just that, it's just an outline. So if you can't say the who, what, where, when, why, and how of whatever word it is, or, whether it's sodium or whether it is leukemia, if you can't say some differentiation pieces of the pathophysiology, then you need to go back and take a look. But a great way to test yourself is what you all already have as winners. So you can go and do that computer adaptive practice exam. Not everybody has that, so live that up. Congratulations, that is really amazing. It's so weird because I just don't know what you all have, what you do in class.
Yeah, we use Media Lab too. We have a subscription. Each student has a subscription to Media Lab, and it has computer adaptive tests on it as well.
We used to use that, and I am really not trying to be negative towards Media Lab Simulator, but I didn't find that it was as relevant. So we went and we altered and changed into what you all have as your reward.
They
So-
haven't received that yet, so we're
Oh,
still
okay.
waiting for that. So hopefully we'll get that soon, and we'll use it more than the other once you get your subscription. So we're looking forward to getting those. I think those are going to be really helpful. Some of
They're
the past
usually-
graduates have written back that they purchased them on their own and they found them to be very helpful. So I can't wait for our subscriptions to come so they can start with that. And you first year, they're going to hold your subscription because right now it won't benefit you to practice because you have another whole year. So they're going to hold yours until next spring, next January or February.
And we do that with our students too. That's not just you all. So our second year students get the exam simulator, but the first years don't, just because it's part of our outcomes that we report out. And so we're having them practice before they move to that level, I guess you could say. But yeah, I would suggest to not use the media lab because it doesn't seem as relevant to me. I used to, have my students and have it up and we would read a question. I'm like, that's not going to be on the exam. Let's move forward.
That's where we are.
That one's not going to be on the
We just
exam.
talked about that today. I found one on there and I was like, I didn't teach that. I don't know. We didn't teach that. So yeah, I know what you mean about that. So that's good to know as well.
It's good. It does have some really good questions on there, but in this time, why not just go for the people who actually make it? So, so we're just starting that out. We only started that last year. So this is the second year we've used it. I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah. Like I said, we're anxious to get ASCP because that's the direction I wanted to go as well. But we already had Media Lab on board. So we're going to make use of it, but we will focus more on ASCP once we get those subscriptions in line.
I did myself use the Polanski review cards. However, I think there's only 2 editions out. So some of the stuff is really out of date, but it is a good place to start because it's got all these charts with all this information. And what I personally did was look at them and say, okay, I don't remember anything about this. That's where I'm going to go review.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember anything about this one. That's where I'm going to go review.
And you sound like me. I just told him, I said, I sat at night with these books, these things in my lap, and I'm reviewing and I'm looking here and I'm, I didn't know that one. I have to study that or I have to review that. I have to make sure I point that out because I didn't stress that in class. So it's a constant.
Oh yeah.
Changing. We need to do this. We need to do that. So it's just a mystery. It's the mystery.
And it's getting longer. So
getting,
just to give you a heads
and
up.
I'm getting older and this month is my 30th anniversary being here at the college. So I'm taking a vote. How many think I need to retire and go on and bring in some new blood? I'm
not if you don't want to. I just celebrated 10 here. Yeah. I mean, I taught before coming here, but I just
30 years sounds 10. Like a lifetime. I guess
it's great though. We appreciate your experience. Thank you. It's almost like, thank you for your service to our laboratory community. So you all are a NACLS accredited program, and that is very important because NACLS accreditation means that the quality of your program, it makes you eligible as graduates to sit for the ASCP exam. And as you move forward, going to maybe your MLS certification, you have the opportunity to either go to a 4-year that is a NACLS accredited MLT to MLS program, or you could have a science degree as long as you meet the needs in that other route of the different chemistries and bios that you need in order to be eligible. So just make sure that you look at all the routes, which with whatever certification exam you're sitting for. And, sky's the limit. You can always go back. We've had many guests on the show, and they keep getting specialist certifications, or they're back for their DCLS. So it's really exciting. There's a whole lot of things you can do. So let's talk to the students a little bit. We are so excited to have you on the show, and you really are what everybody's coming to hear, and who to talk to. They couldn't care less about the two of us. They're here to see you. So the first question is, whoever wants to answer is fine. What interests you in participating in the Cell Bowl this year? Why did you want to do it? What made you excited or hopeful about entering?
Shirley was really wanting us to participate. Really wanted us to participate. And we were all just kind of sitting there like, okay. And then it was fun.
It became fun, didn't it?
It became fun.
So you, I've been watching you because your score, I've been looking at your scores and all the pictures and stuff, and you were doing really great. You improved a lot. So congratulations to you. I was looking at everybody and like, wow, I did not expect you to put your scores up. And then I saw them. I'm like, well, they're there. I'm going to take a look. So you all were doing really well. So really great job. Were you begrudging to join, or you're like, oh, it sounds fun?
I liked watching Erin do it.
Oh,
She was so quick at it, and I was like, I'm gonna be Erin. I did not. But it was fun trying.
there was a competition, West and East Coast. Well, not East Coast, Utah. You were going up against Amy Lund a lot of the times, and one of my now second year students, he was joining in, and he was our MVP, Cameron, and he was coming in for blood. He said, what was their score this week? I'm going to beat it. And you all were dallying like weeks with each other, and he made us go to the second in the nation in week 4, but that didn't get us to move forward like you all did. So he was a little he was a little jealous. So Erin, congratulations. But you all really did a great job. So that's great. So Erin, since we're talking to you, do you have your backpack with you?
No, I didn't bring it.
No. Do you like it? I haven't seen it yet. Yeah. Is it big enough?
Yeah, I like it. I've carried my laptop and stuff around in it.
Okay. Everybody at in my program wanted one, and I said, you got to get the 20. and they did not. So nobody got it, but they're trying to weasel one out of me, I think. So we'll see.
Yeah, Amy from Weber State, she was amazing.
She was. Oh my gosh.
Her. She was the one to watch every week.
I wish that I had a video of you all. So Erin, doing yours, and then Amy doing hers, and then maybe Cameron doing his, and having like I don't know, some kind of video where you're all just like, smoke is coming up out of the phones. You can't even see your fingers. It's like the Matrix.
We could do that. And watch Erin for forever. And I was like, how did you even read that to know what you clicked?
So what was your final score? It was 30 cells in how many seconds? 20?
20.9.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I remember because I almost fell out of my chair. I was like, wow, she did it. And Cameron went, I'm out. He's like, I'm not going to be able to do that. I don't even know how he did it. And I was watching him. I didn't take a video of it, but I don't even know how you all did it. I was like, 58 seconds, whatever. That's great. I'll just keep it at that. And then I see like 30 seconds and everything. And I'm like, holy cow, who are you? That's amazing.
She just kept
great job.
Yeah, each week that score got better and better.
It did. It really did. And what did you just live on that phone all the time? How many times did you practice?
I really just like doing it. Like I really like hematology. So I just did it whenever I was bored or in the car, whenever.
Not while you're driving.
No.
Okay.
No.
So you all were giving her a run for money too. We had the 30 under 60 club that we saw, everybody lining up. There was another Tiffany in there. I was like, oh, love the name. So that was fun. Do you all want to raise your hands? Because we can see you from the room. Who was in the 30 under 60 club?
Let me
All right. I can only see a couple of people.
The first year students had class this morning.
Oh, okay.
And they left, but now Tiffany she's at home. She had a COVID exposure. So we've got students out for that as well. So we're not the full group here today.
Well, y'all still look good. Thank you for coming.
You were in it.
Yeah.
Okay, did you girls raise your hands? I didn't see they didn't raise their hands. Do it again.
I know. There's more of them. I didn't want to call them out.
Yeah, there are more here. They're being shy, but we had everyone in that group received a Southern scarf too. They're kind of dangling the scarves out there for us to, we can win them, or you can do other things to get them. They're really pretty. They're blue. And does anybody have their scarf today? It's like a long knitted scarf. And so they gave every student who got into the 30 under got a scarf.
I guess you really need that though too. All that snow.
Lately we've needed those.
All right, we're moving on to the next question. Did you experience any challenges during the competition that you had to overcome in order to make it to the Supercell Bowl? That can be anything. I hope that none of the answers are COVID, but that could absolutely be an answer. Finger cramps, not enough potassium, something,
Giant platelets and large platelets.
Let me give you an example. Oh, this is
my existence.
Well, I honestly, I'm sorry, I gave my students a leg up on that because I knew about that problem. Let me tell you what the strategy is. So what they're doing is they are zooming in so that when you're looking at the lymphocytes, they zoom out. But when you're looking at the platelets, they're zooming in. And so they look huge because they're trying to put them in the picture. But you got to make sure that you look at the red blood cell next to it. So large platelets are the size of a red blood cell. And then if they're bigger than the RBC, that's a giant platelet. So just heads up there, they do get you on those pictures. The lymphocytes and the thrombocytes were what most people usually have trouble with. So very cool. Anybody else have trouble cell lines?
What about the immature RBCs? Seemed like that group was tough.
Mine was a mega karyoblast.
Mega karyoblast, yeah.
That was a common one too. I don't have a rule of thumb for that. Sorry.
Yeah, the blast cells in general, I thought were tough.
Yeah. Well,
and classwork, I think sometimes they were studying other things and didn't get the chance to practice.
no.
So just life and class and microbiology. Yeah, second year they were in microbiology, so I don't think they cared too much about cells at that time.
Well, when are your clinical rotations? Do you have them in the second year or the first year and the second year?
We have one rotation in the summer between years for phlebotomy. We have a 2-week rotation, but the real rotations don't start until their final semester. So the group of second years, they started, what would you say, 3 weeks ago? Has it been about 3 weeks? They started 3 weeks ago. So they just finished up their first rotation.
Well, it's all going to come back, right?
Yeah.
Do you walk into the hospital and say, we're the ones that won the Cell Bowl. So you're welcome. I hope not. Don't do that, but that would be nice.
We need a billboard because we didn't get enough fame, I don't think, for this. I think we need to get a billboard.
You need to. I was thinking the same thing. I was so engaged in it and excited, but man, it was exhausting. So I wanted to make a big banner, but then we're not allowed to hang up. And so trying to figure out a way to put that. So I'm thinking of putting a big banner on the website, you know, number 2 in week 4, but that was it. Yay. Go West Virginia. Did you find that the competition and the tutorials, like the parts of the videos that had the tutorials and the Cell app tutorials, did they help you learn or teach hematology? So this is also for you, Professor Daugherty. So the main question, or the main subcategories of this question, would be, did it help improve cellular morphology recognition? That's number 1. Number 2 is, did it help you to correlate automated results with the peripheral blood smear? And number 3, did it improve your understanding, or do you think it improved their understanding of how cellular morphology indicates whether it's a benign or malignant condition? So for viewers out there, benign means it's not scary, it's not bad, it's okay, it's just weird. And malignant means that it is a problem.
Well, for me, I like them so much that I think I might show them next year in class some, if that's allowed, because they got into so much detail and their graphics were so good that I feel like it would be a good teaching tool.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I can't ban you from using Cell Atlas. Go for it.
I'm talking about the guest on your program. What are you talking about?
Well, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. It's available whenever. And
the professionals that you interviewed were so good, and the things that they showed were just, I really feel like they would make great teaching tools. So yeah, that's where I was going with it. But you're talking about the Cell-evision app itself.
I thought that's what you were referring to. Yeah. I made the posters and everything, the presentations, and we've been talking about having those available for program directors to maybe download and print, but they're a big scientific poster size. So they're 3 feet by 4 feet. We have some of those out in our hallway because we do those kinds of posters in our courses as projects. But yeah, each of those, I didn't cite the pictures that are actually mine. So just to give you a heads up, the ones that weren't cited were mine. But thank you for that. I do appreciate it.
You know, we weren't introduced to the Cell-evision app until around the program started in October, or the contest, was it October?
Yes.
So we start classes in August, mid-August, and we jump right in with cell identification. And by October, we were pretty much done, and we'd moved on to special hematology or hemostasis or wherever we were. So we didn't have that app in the beginning. So I don't know what you guys think, but I think if you would have had it in the beginning when you were first learning, you could have made some good use of it. So I plan to do that next fall, start the group out using that from the very beginning. We just jumped in and started using it in October. But what it did do was it forced us to keep looking at cells, because we had moved on. You know how when you move on past things, you don't go back and revisit it very much when you're thinking about new topics, but it forced us to keep looking at cells. So I think that was one benefit of it as well.
I think it really helped with the differentials that we did later.
Oh, yeah,
on.
in the lab practice.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you don't see that until the end of the lab. So that's good.
That really helped.
Were you talking about the Cell Atlas or the videos?
The Cell Atlas.
Very cool.
Like being able to click through and look at other things, because in the differential, you have to look at a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to tell things apart was really important, and that really helped.
Good. Yeah. We had basically an overview of normal hemostasis and hematopoiesis, right? And so this next year, so spoiler alert for next year's competition, we're going to dive in more in depth for the each of the cell lines and talk about abnormalities. So different structural differences. I wanted to keep them this time with normal so that you knew what normal was versus abnormal, and the fact that a lot of the cells weren't using things like inclusions in the Cell Atlas game, the quiz. So I wanted to make it relevant for you all and what you were doing at the time. So hopefully we'll continue and add more levels of the tutorials in the episodes that you can go and rewatch anytime you want to help you out with preparing for the BOC or clinical rotations or whatever it is you want. But yeah, we had people that were of all levels of professional and students watching you and cheering you on. So that they're really excited to have you out there. People that are, have been out there forever, and they're saying, wow, these students are amazing. I want them at my location. And so they were asking about where everybody was. And I'm like, I can't give all the information. Like, what's that girl's name? I want her at our hospital. Can we bring her over? I'm like, I can't give out student names. All the program directors were providing names. I'm like, I don't know their age. I can't write in there, or I can't say what their names are. So it's just like, this individual from this school, congratulations. And they're probably like, you know my name. They said in my name. So Erin, I can now say your name, but yeah. So very nice. So you all feel like you were able to help correlate results a little bit better afterwards and see morphology. Very good. What about?
We need one parasites.
Parasite
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah, I did get feedback about trying to get this kind of competition with other areas of the lab, but unfortunately at this time, there are no apps that are similar. So everyone out there in YouTube land, if you want to contact me and maybe we could put an app together where we can do this kind of thing, or you all can make it a project for your program, whatever, that would be really cool. Get together with the information technology majors, make an app, we can start a new bowl. Whatever you want to do. Everybody wants blood banking and micro, just to let you know. So that is what everybody's hit me up for. And I really was thinking, oh, I need to make an app. Maybe ASCP will hire me just to be their, their cruise director, where you just have all this different cool stuff, all the fun games. I'll be the medical lab fun lady instead. You'll have all these games.
Instead of medical lab lady, you could be technical Tiffany.
Maybe. I don't know. I think I stopped there. My kids know how to code, and I'm like, it's not what I want to do. So, but yeah, it's a little over their heads too. So what about, are there any other successes? I know we've already highlighted your MVP. And we've highlighted the 30 under 60 squad. Do you have any student teams that, were you all having an internal competition, or were you just having a good time? Did you have emerging leaders? It doesn't need to be the people that got the best scores. It could just be, really great champions. Or did you collaborate with any other programs to talk about how to support your participation? Anything cool that happened? I knew I threw a lot at you right then, but I wanted to make sure to give you options.
I can't think of anything specific that we did. As I said, we have the two groups. We have the first year and second year. And second year, we're in head over heels in micro. So they participated, and we had some 30 out of 30 champions in that group too. But with first year being in hematology at that moment, I think they dove in a little more deeper than the second year students did. But everybody was supportive of each other, and nobody, nobody was like, oh, she's got that, I don't like that. Everybody was just so supportive of Erin, because she was actually the person who each week improved the most. So we hate to just mention Erin, but she did. And there's no other way to say it other than she improved that score every week. I don't know how she did it, but She was amazing.
I don't know how I did it.
It's
Sheer
difficult.
determination.
Tried and tried, and I can't get 30 and 30. I just can't. I'm too slow.
I didn't try.
My eyes don't see. I just can't do it.
My first under 60 seconds, I was like, that's beatable. Let's do that. And I was like, I'm done. Not doing that.
Yeah, the first goal was 60 seconds. I couldn't even do that.
That was in a bubble bath. I was in a bubble bath, just like I got to get a score out. So let's get a score out there. But yeah, that I started this in our program a couple years ago, and the same person who was our MVP this year, he was a first year then, and he was just, you know, stomping the second years and everything. He got a perfect right off the bat, and they're like, what? Like, what are you doing? And we had just started hematology. So you all were in a different stage, actually. You were in a more mature stage of cell line than we were when it started. So we found that a lot of students across the country were saying the same thing, that they didn't start, you know, cellular identification until after the cell bubble had already started. So they felt maybe less prepared. And whereas you all were already there. So there was a huge variety, massive variety of the different levels of people out there, the different levels of participation. So out of all of you, did everybody participate, or did some people say, no, it's not for me? I mean, how was that?
I won't say we had 100% participation. I'd say there were a few people that just didn't even, just didn't try, probably just didn't want to do it or didn't have the time. So we didn't have 100%, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think everybody had 100%. There was one, the program out in California, there was only one student that was participating, and they made it to the playoffs. There wasn't a whole lot of teams, you know, going on over in the West, which hopefully we will change this upcoming year. But yeah, they're like, we don't want to participate. And he said, I do. And so he was the team.
And he was a one-man team, huh?
He was a one-man show, and he did really well. So congratulations to him out there at UCD Health. But yeah, you didn't have to do it if you didn't want to. The whole goal was to have, you know, support for one another, support for the profession supporting you. So we just want you all to know that you're seen, you're heard, and we're so excited you're coming into the profession. So thank you for picking MLT, and we're so proud of you. My next one, I think, Professor Darty, is going to need your help. So can we pull out the award, please?
Yes.
Somebody's going to fall out of their chair. This is exciting. Now I can't see.
I bet you haven't seen it yet, have you, Tiffany?
No, I haven't. I want to see it too.
It's not exactly the one that you showed, but it's very pretty.
Oh.
It's so pretty.
Who do you want to thank?
Can you see it better there?
It's gorgeous. Look at that.
Yeah, how pretty. And it has a little bit of a blue. We recently rebranded here at Southern. We use the blues, the 2 shades of blue. And this trophy has 2 shades of blue in the base of it. So I don't know if that was just an accident or intended, but it's very pretty. And it has 2021 Supercell Bowl champion, Southern West Virginia Community and Technical Colleges MLT program, ASCP and Medical Lab Lady Gill.
Oh, congratulations. Look at that. Okay, so you all need to definitely pose up at the front. Everybody needs to grab that and pose at some point, and we want pictures, okay? So that's so wonderful. So congratulations. I keep posting about stuff on Twitter. So if you send me pictures or you post on Twitter, I'll share those. That's really wonderful. You should wear your celebrity shirts over gowns, you know, and you just walk across. I would like to thank the Academy. My
This is
mother.
actually the first time I've ever held up a trophy like this. I would like to thank you all. If it weren't for you students, we wouldn't have this trophy, so.
That's right. Oh my
Thanks to
goodness.
you all, and congratulations.
All right. Well, now you need a case, because are you going to bring it home next year too?
The president offered to make us a case to put somewhere, so I don't know what we're gonna do with it, but she
Lots of
mentioned,
lights.
a trophy case, so we'll
Oh,
see
yeah.
what we can come up with to showcase our award.
Lots of lights and a glitter bomb in there. So
Definitely lights would reflect, because it has different dimensions on the backside, so the light would reflect off of it in all directions, I think. Be very
it's
pretty.
gorgeous. I bet it looks way better in person, and it's gorgeous online.
It is. It's really pretty. Very heavy. Some type of crystal. But that blue, I was amazed at it with the blue, and our colors are blue now. And
Oh yeah, that was intentional. Oh yeah.
next year we'll have a mascot too. We just learned Thursday that they've named the mascot, but it's a secret. They're not going to reveal it until August. So, we had we didn't have the mascot, and I think, what were we called? We were there for a bit.
The biscuits.
No, the biscuits, the Southern Biscuits. We have a softball team, and they call themselves the Southern Biscuits. So it's an we competed with some community folks. Some of the guys here at the college and girls competed against community, but they're the Southern Biscuits. But that's not our mascot. Our mascot's going to be, I don't know. What were the toss-ups?
Gravy, biscuits and gravy.
I forgot now. The Knights, maybe Southern Knights was one of them. The Sasquatch was one of the choices, and there was a third one. Does anybody remember? We had 3 choices, and I remember
It was squirrels.
squirrels, the Southern squirrels. So next year when you see us, we'll either be dressed as a squirrel or a Sasquatch. And what was the other one? The Southern Knights. I don't know. But we will have a mascot for you to put. If we make it to the finals, we will have a mascot to put onto the screen next year. We didn't have one this year.
You could submit one and be the Southern Cell-ebrities.
Oh,
Yeah, I think that should be
that might work.
something in there, because you all are famous now. Bring it home, right? Just make it, work it. She's working it in the back. So that leads me into the next question. So how does it feel to be celebrities and to be the first in history to win the largest hematology competition in history? How does that feel?
Always knew I was gonna be famous.
Has anybody asked for your autographs? Has anybody been interviewed or anything? Your mom? I love it. Be better.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Do you all get recognized out in the community?
They recognized us on the news, didn't they?
Yeah, we were on the radio, and there was a mention of us going on to the WSAZ show that comes on in the middle of the day. It comes on about 4:00, and they showcase new things around town. So that was mentioned, but I don't know if it went anywhere. Possibility.
I saw they did an article on you from that station, and I picked that up, and I think I shared it on Twitter. That was really neat.
the radio one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the television one never happened, but it's still a possibility. There's a lot going on here. So
We're on TV
we may still make it on TV. Yeah, we're on TV.
Show you're seeing global. Forget your local
Local
station.
station.
Not your global. So Professor Daugherty was on a podcast, the Elaborate Topics podcast, with 3 of my friends, and they got to talk about your win and how proud she was of you all. She did say a lot of nice things about you, and I do appreciate the kind words you said about me too. That was very kind of you. Thank you.
Yeah. If not for the pandemic, I wouldn't know you. and I wouldn't know you existed because I never did Facebook things. So I wasn't aware of what all was out there, but the pandemic forced me to get on Facebook on a program director's site. And it was a site that they shared information on virtual type of demonstrations and just different things we could use during this pandemic. And Miss Gill had so many wonderful videos out there that the students who were in clinicals that year, if it had not been for those videos that they could watch and learn and show that they could do these things virtually, they probably wouldn't have graduated. So between you and there was another gentleman, and I can't remember his name, he had a lot, but between the two of you, you helped these kids to graduate.
Thank you. Well, we had started that Facebook group, right? ASCP did. And it's just for program directors. There's faculty on there and everything too. And it became a panic center, there's just panic.
Yeah. March of 2020, I was in a state of panic. I had no idea how to do this.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to graduate in 2 months. And I didn't know what was going to happen. And I got so much good information on that site. And then later on, I just kept looking and I saw that you had opened the competition up to anyone across the United States. But I thought I was a little scared, to be honest, because you said you were competing against MLS and MLT altogether.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, that's a little scary. We're MLT. We might not be able to compete with MLS. And then it just dawned on me. Cells are cells.
Yeah.
MLS people don't have different cells than we do. They don't learn any more than we do. So I jumped in there and I said, let's try this. It'll be fun.
And look what happened.
Yeah. And then the first night that your results came out was a Saturday evening. And I was downstairs in the basement. We were getting ready to watch a movie. And I just thought, I'll just look and see if we, where we are. And honestly, I never dreamed we were going to be way up there. We were first place.
Yeah.
Very first week, we finished in first place in our region. And so from then on, I was like, we can do this. We're going to do this. I'd come to class and I'd say, girl, we're doing this.
She absolutely did.
Every time I did an episode, I was like, come on, East, we got to bring it home. We got to bring it home. And I know that I was being biased. I was doing that purposely too.
Just a little, but it was welcomed.
But, we were rooting on everybody, but, in a normal NFL type style of show, there are biases that come out on purpose. You want to show a little camaraderie and rivalry just for fun. And I was hoping that nobody was getting really upset about me saying, come on, East, come on. Because the West was kicking it. The West and the Midwest was kicking our tails at the beginning. Yeah. They had all perfects in the top 10. And I apologize. I was one of the two that was not a perfect score at the very first. So it was, I'm going to call out Lisa Shave, her students up at Mercer in New Jersey. You're welcome, Lisa. We were both, one less. We were 29. We were matched. And, we were in the top 10, but it was crazy. And I'm like, wow, I thought we were going to, just like stomp everybody as hopefully, because, but it didn't turn out that way. And then, so there was some comeback, and then, it started taking hold and everybody was starting to hold their breath and people are like, what is going on? Seconds were getting shaved off. There was like 10 seconds at one point that got shaved off, or 15. I could not believe it. It was craziness. And my kids too, they're like, who's winning now?
Yeah. I'd come in on Monday mornings and I'd hear, have you heard the score yet? Who won? Who's winning this week? So we made it a competition. We really enjoyed it. We had
It was
fun.
good. It was really, really good. I was at soccer games. So my kids are out there playing soccer and they're like, Mommy, are you watching? And I'm like, I'm doing scores right now. Because we had to, I had to do a quick turnaround time of calculating the scores of how different they were, posting all of it, making the presentations. It was a lot, but they were scoring great on the field. You all were scoring great on the paper, and it was really wonderful. So,
well, we want to thank you for having the competition. Without you, I know it wouldn't have been possible, and I know the work you put into it had to be tremendous. So, thank you very much.
Well, thank you for participating. If we didn't have people coming in, there would have never been one. You know, I sit there and I'm like, we should have a competition. And this has been for years, thinking about, you know, if we could get out there and showcase our students to help showcase, you know, our programs and the profession, then maybe we wouldn't be the hidden profession anymore, right? And our communities would rally around, you know, some competition where, you know, they've got school pride, community pride. And so this just happened to be the first one, the first, hopefully, of many. So I just want to know, are you all coming back to defend your title next year?
Let's do it.
Woo, 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 come on. Well, you heard it, ladies and gentlemen, from the horse's mouth. We are ready and set for Cell Bowl 2022.
Bring it
Coming
on.
this October to
October
near
22.
you.
We can do this.
All right. Well, we did not have any questions in the chat of Facebook. I mean, sorry, not Facebook, of YouTube. Sorry. But everyone did say they were coming back. They were going to watch it, and hopefully they'll comment too. So you all did amazing. From all of us on the other side, we are so proud of you and so excited for you. Thank you for beating our butts and bringing it home to the East. So with that, I'm going to end. Thank you all for joining us for our first live event of the Cell Bowl After Party. Yay!